Our circular eco-economy. From pollution from America to India to Pakistan to the UAE, to who is to blame and who can help. Note, this group of 5 articles, Our Circular Eco-Economy, are not an I Know It All series. They are articles to try to get people thinking more creatively about our future, planet, and people. I went to MIT Sloan School of Management and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I studied system dynamics. Please send your insights, feedback, and ideas to me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com. Please share this article with anybody you think you could have an intelligent conversation with about these topics. If you would like to be part of this initiative, I have plans to create Zoom spaces for us to communicate with each other, or Slack, or ideas that you all may have. Please email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com if you would like to be part of this new project for our world. Demonstration of pollution's negative karma being spread from country to country. Articles on the rampant pollution in Pakistan. Lahore, the capital of Punjab and Pakistan's second largest city, on Sunday had its worst air quality ever recorded, prompting the government to shut all primary schools this week. In the days since, the city has been cloaked in toxic, eye-irritating smog. On Thursday, Lahore had the worst air quality of any city in the world, according to iCare, a Swiss air quality monitoring company. The air feels thick, and it's exhausting just to breathe, Safdar Masih, 42, a gardener in Lahore, said on Thursday. Even with windows and doors shut, the smog had seeped into homes, he said. The World Bank has said that air pollution shortens the average life expectancy of Pakistanis by 4.3 years and leads to losses equivalent to about 6.5% of the economy. Typically, one would blame Pakistan and say they're dumb. But I'm an educated person and thought this seemed atypical. It was confusing to me. So I did some research. Aurangzeb said the fumes were being carried by strong winds into Pakistan. This cannot be solved without talks with India, she said, adding that the provincial government would initiate such discussions through the foreign ministry. Inhaling toxic air can have catastrophic health consequences, including strokes, heart disease, lung cancer, and some respiratory diseases, according to the WHO. Last month, pupils were banned from outdoor exercise until January, and school hours were adjusted to prevent children from traveling when pollution levels are the highest. As a mother, I am full of anxiety, 42-year-old Lily Mirza told AFP news agency. Last year was not this bad. Somebody needs to tell us what has happened. Did a pollution bomb explode somewhere? The United Arab Emirates solution to Pakistan's problem. Teams from the UAE, along with 2 planes, arrived here about 10 to 12 days ago. They used 48 flares to create the rain, he said. The UAE has increasingly used cloud seeding, sometimes referred to as artificial rain or blue skying, to create rain in the arid expanse of the country. In the cloud seeding process, silver iodide, a yellowish salt, is burned in clouds in a compound with acetone to encourage condensation to form as rain. Naqvi reassured the public of the safety of the artificial rain, citing more than 1,000 annual missions by the UAE and similar technologies used in dozens of countries, including the United States, China, and India. Typically, one would then blame India and say they're dumb for polluting Pakistan. But I'm an educated person and know that the factories in Asia are the ones producing all the goods for the world, especially American consumerism. So the circular eco-economy could go something like this. From America consumerism, I want more products. To India, I will build it for you because we are poor, so lots of pollution due to industrialism. To Pakistan, the wind carries the pollution to Pakistan, making the children incapable of even going to school. To the UAE, let's blow chemicals up into the air to try to help. So my question is, if this is coming from India, then it is probably coming from consumerism, addiction, and greed in the United States. We, the people who buy the products from Asia made in filthy petroleum factories that are then shipped to us in the US, and we receive the products like nothing happened to the earth, air, water, or the people in Asia. So, why do we talk just about countries? Why not about regions? Why not about who is buying the goods that are produced by petroleum pollution? What is the effect of poor air in Asia? The Environmental Research Group at Imperial College London published a review in April 2023, following decades of scientific research about air pollution. The review found connections between air pollution and the health of newborn babies in the first weeks of life, low birth weight, miscarriages, and stillbirths. It also found that early exposure to air pollution can hinder development. According to the Air Quality Life Index AQLI, published by the Energy Policy Institute at the University of Chicago, EPIC, in August 2023, the average Indian's life expectancy is reduced by 5.3 years due to PM 2.5 pollution. In New Delhi, life expectancy is cut by 10 years. The report found that an average Pakistani would live for 3.9 years longer if air quality met the WHO guidelines. Growing industrialization in South Asia in recent decades has driven an increase in pollutants emanating from factories, construction activity, and vehicles in densely populated areas. The problem becomes more severe in cooler autumn and winter months, as temperature inversion prevents a layer of warm air from rising and traps pollutants closer to the ground. Rising air pollution can cut life expectancy by more than 5 years per person in South Asia, one of the world's most polluted regions. According to a report published in August, which flagged the growing burden of hazardous air on health, Pakistan is responsible for less than 1% of global carbon emissions, but is among the top 10 most climate-vulnerable nations. What can be done to remedy South Asia's air quality crisis? The IKEA Air report recommends that governments invest in renewable energy initiatives, introduce incentives for cleaner vehicles, improve infrastructure to enable better pedestrian mobility, and ban agricultural burning practices. While interesting, it does not get into the dynamics of the circular eco-economy. Greed, materialism, consumerism. The US gets free of air pollution, while countries in Asia get saturated with it. Fair or not? Then get this. Now the UAE is playing God and disrupting earthly patterns with spouting out random chemicals into the sky. How bad can this get? Are we sure this is safe? Let's just blow things up into the air rather than face the hunger of consumerism we really need to face. Wow, circular eco-economy gone wild. New research found that fewer than 10% of countries and territories met World Health Organization guidelines for particulate matter pollution last year. So, who can help? Read my next article on a possible solution. Our circular eco-economy too. Can MIT make a Venn system dynamics model of this situation? John Sturman, Roberto Rigobon, Vicky Chuchiao Yang Hajir Ramandad Peter M. Sengay Jason J. Muhammad Jalali. Our circular eco-economy 2. Questions for people who would like to create a currency based upon the karmic effects on the environment and people. Note, this group of 5 articles, Our Circular Eco-Economy, are not an I Know It All series. They are articles to try to get people thinking more creatively about our future, planet, and people. I went to MIT Sloan School of Management and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I studied system dynamics. Please send your insights, feedback, and ideas to me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com. Please share this article with anybody you think you could have an intelligent conversation with about these topics. If you would like to be part of this initiative, I have plans to create Zoom spaces for us to communicate with each other, or Slack, or ideas that you all may have. Please email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com if you would like to be part of this new project for our world. What needs to be considered now? Hormones, antibiotics, steroids, whatever else they put in animals that then get into our brains if we eat them and we become super dumb, sustainable organic farms preferable. My proposed solution is here, which includes the start of an Excel spreadsheet, FYI System Dynamics team. We are literally eating our own stupid shit. The cow manure also gets into the water stream, making us dumb. Chemical products that get into the water stream. Then again, we end up super dumb, biodegradable, preferable. Not recycling minerals from the earth. They took so long to form, and we are treating them like pennies. We need to protect what was made for future generations, for millennia. When it's gone, it's gone. This is it, y'all. The earth formed beautiful minerals, plants, and animals over billions, trillions of years. Can we respect what was created by life? The Amazon rainforest is now starting to absorb more carbon than oxygen. Again, we are literally starting to eat our own shit. My article with the facts, life herself is dying. Grandparents' earplugs that plug them from listening to anything outside. It's terrible, really. It's your connection to others, to God, to be able to listen. Other considerations, just throwing some creative ideas out there. Minerals. How long did it take to form XYZ, petroleum, baking soda, bentonite, clay? How should we recycle? How should we preserve? Who gets access to these precious minerals, especially for electronics, computer chips, etc.? What about baking soda? How long will mothers be able to cook with baking soda before that precious resource is gone? Or will we make it in a lab? Food. What can grow? Where?
Okay, I'm going to just stop here and say that this is more beneficial to kind of like read it online. These are like considerations for the karmic Excel spreadsheet that a system dynamics person could create.
Where? Why? Under what conditions? Well-being. What is calming? What is beautiful? What is inspiring? Etc. Put it into an AI artificial intelligence system, and it will generate categories into infinity. Pollution, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, acidity levels, air, water, ground. Again, this could be new programming for AI scientists. Use less than etc. for new scripts. What should we pay for EW factors, garbage men, bathroom cleaners? What is really a fair wage? My next question, what is money? Investopedia, money doesn't always have value, whether it's represented by a seashell, a metal coin, a piece of paper, or a string of code mined electronically by a computer. With global wealth estimated to be about $432 trillion at the end of 2023, the value of money depends on the importance that people place on it as a medium of exchange, a unit of measurement, and a storehouse for wealth. My question, what is global wealth? What is going up? What is going down? Plus up karma positive, new eco-tech, like a cool solar panel, MIT, Caltech, Apple Computer, homebiogas.com, organic gardeners. Down karma negative, like cow hormones and manure pollution, acidity and petroleum and trash in the ocean, chicken antibiotics, fish mercury poisoning, petroleum pollution, anemia, gonorrhea, chlamydia, glacial melting and the disappearance of Miami and Japan and Texas and Hawaii and all those other island indigenous territories that people currently could give two shits about, insect infestations, etc. The below is an example of a start of a spreadsheet I made on Google Spreadsheets that anybody can access, that an intelligent economist, system dynamics theorist, cryptocurrency operator, or really anybody imaginative and caring could use to get their creative impulses going. If I were an MIT system dynamics researcher, I would put this model into a Vensim computer program with an artificial intelligence researcher. Then see what happens when all the variables are circulated. What would you do? Here is an example of a system dynamics diagram by the School of Management and Engineering, Capital University of Economics and Business, Beijing. It is incredible. It really demonstrates what the Vensim computer software is capable of. A system dynamics model for ecological environmental management in coal mining areas in China. This is the power of the Vensim system dynamics software. Wow. If you're a curious soul, or NASA, or MIT, or somebody who is capable of statistical analysis, then try out Vensim. It's free. And perhaps find a partner, collaborator, an artificial intelligence coder, etc. This article is written by Ashley Heacock, MIT Sloan School of Management, EMBA Harvard Kennedy School, MPETH George Washington University, BA.
Okay, I'm going to stop here and just say, again, you will need to read the article to see the diagrams. This article is really about, I have an Excel spreadsheet on there, and then I also have Vensim diagrams from the Beijing University. So that would be really helpful for all of you who are listening.
Our circular eco-economy. 2. Atmospheric factual data on karmic positive and negative zones, what NASA or somebody with those technical capabilities could do to help. Note, this group of 5 articles, our circular eco-economy, are not an I Know It All series. They are articles to try to get people thinking more creatively about our future, planet, and people. I went to MIT Sloan School of Management and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I studied system dynamics. Please send your insights, feedback, and ideas to me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com. Please share this article with anybody you think you could have an intelligent conversation with about these topics. If you would like to be part of this initiative, I have plans to create Zoom spaces for us to communicate with each other, or Slack, or ideas that you all may have. Please email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com if you would like to be part of this new project for our world. I have 3 suggestions for NASA: atmospheric research, laboratory tests, system dynamics models. 1. Can NASA or somebody who does atmospheric research do a study on percentage of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. in each cubic meter of the entire Earth? Karmic positive or negative to the circular eco-economy? Where are the factories polluting the earth and water and air? Where are the cow factory farms polluting the earth and water and air? Where are the forests, gardens, and farms that are helping produce more oxygen for all? If we can have a map of the world showing us who is polluting and who is helping, then we can take further action. 2. Can NASA or somebody start 2 differentials of atmospheric zones as laboratory tests? Set up one laboratory that is filled with cow manure, hormones, antibiotics, petroleum gas, and anything else that is polluting the world. See what happens. Collect data. Set up another laboratory that is filled with flowers, herbs, hemp absorbs a lot of carbon, trees, and anything else that helps oxygenize the world. See what happens. Collect data. Bring politicians and newscasters to the laboratories to see firsthand the impacts of climate change and our personal and societal behaviors and decisions. Have them tell a story about pollution of the earth and possible solutions. 3. Can NASA or somebody reach out to the MIT System Dynamics team and start working with them on a circular eco-economy Venn computer artificial intelligence diagram of what is happening on planet Earth? Why doesn't the government start cooperating more with universities that could help save the environment? Read our Circular Eco-Economy 1 and 2, and then perhaps email the System Dynamics team at MIT and see what can transpire through cooperation. This article is written by Ashley Heacock, MIT Sloan School of Management, EMBA Harvard Kennedy School, Empath at George Our Circular Eco-Economy IVOR. Solutions, sustainable, organic, community farms all around the world. Note, this group of 5 articles, Our Circular Eco-Economy, are not an I Know It All series. They are articles to try to get people thinking more creatively about our future, planet, and people. I went to MIT Sloan School of Management and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I studied system dynamics. Please send your insights, feedback, and ideas to me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com. Please share this article with anybody you think you could have an intelligent conversation with about these topics. If you would like to be part of this initiative, I have plans to create Zoom spaces for us to communicate with each other, or Slack, or ideas that you all may have. Please email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com if you would like to be part of this new project for our world. The Amazon rainforest is now emitting more carbon dioxide than it is able to absorb, scientists have confirmed for the first time. The emissions amount to 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide a year, according to a study. The giant forest had previously been a carbon sink, absorbing the emissions driving the climate crisis, but is now causing its acceleration, researchers said. Most of the emissions are caused by fires, many deliberately set to clear land for beef and soy production. But even without fires, hotter temperatures and droughts mean the southeastern Amazon has become a source of CO2 rather than a sink. Growing trees and plants have taken up about a quarter of all fossil fuel emissions since 1960, with the Amazon playing a major role as the largest tropical forest. Losing the Amazon's power to capture CO2 is a stark warning that slashing emissions from fossil fuels is more urgent than ever, scientists said. The Guardian. The Amazon currently is not able to absorb all the crap literally we are putting out into the environment. Life herself is dying. Life herself is dying. The Amazon rainforest. Awakening consciousness. I live in the sacred valley of Peru. I have been doing research.
Okay, so this you would need to read on Medium. I talked about the Amazon rainforest dying. So this is like an article that Medium is transcribing.
Doing research, which you can read more about on this website. I have www.awakeningconsciousness.community. Cities just have buildings. They do not help, except if you want mass cooperation. Gardens, forests, parks help to take in all of that carbon and release oxygen. We need a ratio of people, nature, cities to ensure proper ventilation so we can breathe and survive as a species. Possible solution: organic, sustainable, diverse, community-orientated farms. Organic, sustainable farms, awakening consciousness. Do you think we should start calculating how much energy we get from wheat, rice, and soy? Could we do better? How? www.awakeningconsciousness.community. Do you think we should start calculating how much...
Okay, so again, this is an article that I wrote about organic, sustainable farms that are diverse, and that might be giving us more nutrition than what we currently have. And yeah, so you'd have to go on my Medium page. All right.
www.awakeningconsciousness.community. Do you think we should start calculating how much energy we get from wheat, rice, and soy? Could we do better? That was part of the Industrial Revolution of feeding the slaves of war. We are now in the 21st century of organic, community-oriented, compassionate, sustainable farms. How much energy does yucca or maca or quinoa or algarabina or kiwicha give a person? How much energy does each plant deplete or give to the land, water, carbon, oxygen, other species, etc.? Do you think we're destroying the entire earth for crops that don't really give us any nutrition? Could we have organic, sustainable, community-oriented, loving farms all over the world that create healthy nutrition for every local population? Google AI search question, what is the rate of inequality in the world? Top 1%. Google AI search answer. The world's top 1% of the population owns a large portion of the world's wealth and income, and the gap between the rich and the poor is widening. Wealth. In 2023, the world's richest 1% owned 47.5% of the world's wealth, which is about $214 trillion. This is while the bottom 50% of the world's population owns less than 2% of the world's wealth. Income. The top 10% of the world's population earns more than the bottom 50% in many regions. For example, in East Asia, Russia, and Central Asia, and North America, the top 10% earns 16 times more than the bottom 50%. New wealth. Since 2020, the top 1% has captured nearly 2/3 of the $42 trillion in new wealth created, which is almost twice as much as the bottom 99% of the world's population. The unequal distribution of wealth can have negative consequences, including hampering economic growth. The gap between the rich and the poor can make it harder for societies to flourish and can lead to social instability. Corrupting politics and media. Inequality can corrupt and polarize politics and media. Eroding democracies. Inequality can erode democracies. So, as a suggestion, let's get the army, cannabis-jailed sinless men, and anybody who wants a job to start building sustainable farms where people can live together in harmony. The women can also help with cooking, gardening, cleaning. They can be provided jobs too. Let's build a trail all across the United States where people can hike, bike, or bus from farm to farm. They can farm, cook, clean, meditate, smoke cannabis, be part of a loving community. Basically, the dream of the hippies. A lot of American citizens are sitting in their parents' basements with no jobs, watching TV, and being useless. Some may have spent money on college, now regret it because you don't really need a BA to do most work. Some may have given into societal pressure and now have malnourished children and try to survive by using meth. And what do the Republicans in South Dakota do? They use money to put up billboards against meth rather than use that money to feed the homeless and help people get out of poverty. It's a bizarre situation. With this sustainable farm solution, it's for California but can be scaled to the entire country and world. Everybody can feel useful and loved. You can plant trees, you can start a garden, you could become a woodworker, you could become an artist, you could become a shaman, a guitar player. You could start a hemp factory to get rid of petroleum plastics and make biodegradable products. You never know. This farm community is meant to help give you a break. Slow down, calm down, dream. Plus, this will be an area where we can treat animals with dignity. Factory farms give hormones and antibiotics and cruelty to animals, and it ends up in people who then become blinder, dumber, and more ill. So, as we create loving community farms where there is a karma-positive ratio of healthy people, healthy animals, healthy plants, That will be helpful. Ideas from history that were successful. Civilian Conservation Corps, 1933, FDR. I propose to create a civilian conservation corps to be used in simple work. More important, however, than the material gains will be the moral and spiritual value of such work. I see 1/3 of a nation ill-housed, ill-clad, ill-nourished. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Conservation of Sacred Sites, 1933, FDR. Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal programs, combined with his enthusiasm for conservation, laid a firm foundation for protecting the nation's natural bounty. The extent of the conservation projects carried on during the New Deal was far more reaching than anything attempted before. Soil erosion control, water conservation, the preservation of wildlife, and other environmental protection activities became a part of the everyday life and activities of American citizens. The importance of the work was new and inspiring. Under his leadership, FDR's programs introduced new concepts on a national level in planning for the responsible use of our natural and historic resources. National Park Service. The Marshall Plan, U.S. Secretary of State George C. Marshall, 1947. It is logical that the United States should do whatever it is able to do to assist in the return of normal economic health to the world, without which there can be no political stability and no assured peace. Our policy is not directed against any country, but against hunger, poverty, desperation, and chaos. Any government that is willing to assist in recovery will find full cooperation on the part of the United States. Its purpose should be the revival of a working economy in the world, so as to permit the emergence of political and social conditions in which free institutions can exist. U.S. Secretary of State George C. Marshall at Harvard's commencement address. We need to move people around, create unique opportunities, create sustainable, diverse farmlands, or come up with super creative ideas to ensure the ratio between carbon to oxygen is stabilized. Read our Circular Economy 2 here for more ideas. Our Circular Eco-Economy 2. Questions for people who would like to create a currency based upon the karmic effects on the environment and people. Medium.com. And if you don't think any of this is a problem, read about the children in Pakistan not being able to go to school in the first part of this series due to serious pollution waves. Our Circular Eco-Economy, From pollution from America to India to Pakistan to the UAE, to who's to blame and who can help. Medium.com. This article is written by Ashley Heacock, MIT Sloan School of Management, MB Harvard Kennedy School, MPAC George Washington University, BA Economics, BA International Relations.
Okay.
Our circular eco-economy, the solution, compassion network of giving to those with karma-positive ideas. Note, this group of 5 articles, Our Circular Eco-Economy, are not an I Know It All series. They are articles to try to get people thinking more creatively about our future, planet, and people. I went to MIT Sloan School of Management and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I studied system dynamics. Please send your insights, feedback, and ideas to me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com. Please share this article with anybody you think you could have an intelligent conversation with about these topics. If you would like to be part of this initiative, I have plans to create Zoom spaces for us to communicate with each other, or Slack, or ideas that you all may have. Please email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com if you would like to be part of this new project for our world. Here is my idea of a solution for giving to those people who have really good ideas to help the people and planet. Scroll through the presentation below or click on the link here. This is about empowering a new generation of young people around the world who are educated, socially minded, care about people and planet, and have good ideas they are inspired by. There now is also a trend of billionaires giving away their money. What if we were able to set up a fund for the Compassion Network?
Okay, just to note, so that presentation is on Medium, on my website, or on YouTube. I'm going to put it on YouTube as well. Okay.
Network and see what individuals around the world do to help their communities. Instead of giving to large organizations, why not give to inspired individuals? How can the cryptocurrency community help? I have an idea for creating a socially maximally beneficial energetic currency distribution system. It will calculate everything. Where did the product come from? How was the earth treated? How were the people treated? What were the consequences of this resource created? We can begin modeling these new currency and social welfare systems off of how life, energy, and the universe functions. For instance, currently the United States receives all the benefits from products made in the rest of the world, but at a cost of devastating pollution and harm to the environment and people. We must realize we are all one, i.e., quantum entangled. The greed and pain of the United States needs to be calculated. As people come into their hearts, we will not need such a massive consumerist economy. As we understand nature and new AI quantum technologies come to the fore, we will advance towards more efficiencies in all that we create. Products will become harmonious with nature as we become harmonious with how the universe works. Nothing will be treated as waste, but rather all will be respected, recycled, reused, and repurposed. In this new Bitcoin cryptocurrency, those who value nature and human beings will be rewarded. Those who destroy others and the world will be brought to the awareness of society, and the people can choose who they support by what they buy, where they live, and who they support. When all is known, people can make choices that reflect their heart and soul, and that will be recorded. Actually, it's already recorded by God. But why not have your karmic score recorded on a cryptocurrency chain too? Creating a socially maximally beneficial energetic currency distribution system. Using the quantum laws of the universe to build a system for human beings to flourish into their destiny. Medium.com. Another possibility is asking the wealthiest to give to the Compassion Network so we can create a fund and spread this on.
Okay, one second again. So this, you'll need to go on my website or Medium to read an article about creating a socially maximally beneficial energetic currency distribution system.
This entrepreneurial, eco-social minded spirit around the world. In August 2010, 40% of America's wealthiest people made a commitment to give the majority of their wealth to address some of society's most pressing problems. Created by Warren Buffett, Melinda French Gates, and Bill Gates, the Giving Pledge came to life following a series of conversations with philanthropists about how they could set a new standard of generosity among the ultra-wealthy. While originally focused on the United States, the Giving Pledge quickly sought interest from philanthropists around the world. The Giving Pledge. This is about building on a wonderful tradition of philanthropy that will ultimately help the world become a much better place. Bill Gates. You can scroll through the incredible list of pledge signatories here. Home, the Giving Pledge. A commitment to philanthropy, the Giving Pledge is a promise by the world's wealthiest individuals and families to givingpledge.org. What other ideas do you have? Comment or email me at ashleyheacock@gmail.com.
Okay.
Organic, sustainable, diverse, community-oriented farms for California, the USA, and everybody around the world to save people and planet. Jobs, community, healthy food, what could be better? Note: what is transcribed is also in a presentation you can view on Canva, Medium, or my website Awakening Consciousness. Community. There are many images and slides that you can view on the presentation more than just on this transcription. So to begin.
Okay. So now we're going to go to, so this is all on Medium or my website, but we're doing it on here. I'm not sure if we can increase the speed a little bit.
The problem: there is a large population of homeless people in the United States, but especially in California. Look at the next two photos of San Diego. The homeless population is unable to live freely. Cities have become sick, ill, and diseased. The problem: over 1/3 of women, 36.7%, now report having been diagnosed with depression at some point in their lifetime, compared with 20.4% of men. And their rate has risen at nearly twice the rate of men since 2017. Those aged 18 to 29, 34.3%, and 30 to 44, 34.9%, have significantly greater depression diagnosis rates in their lifetime than those older than 44. Women, 23.8%, and adults aged 18 to 29, 24.6%, also have the highest rates of current depression or treatment for depression. These two groups, up 6.2 and 11.6 percentage points, respectively, as well as adults aged 30 to 44, have the fastest rising rates compared with 2017 estimates. Lifetime depression rates are also climbing fast among Black and Hispanic adults and have now surpassed those of white respondents. Historically, white adults have reported marginally higher rates of both lifetime and current depression. Gallup,
2023 The problem, we have a 9/11 scale loss at least every 12 days from deaths of despair in the U.S. The opioid epidemic is claiming more than 100 lives per day. And suicide rates are well over 100 lives per day. Deaths of despair are spreading across the country like a plague. What could be causing so many people to turn to suicide, drugs and alcohol? The trend in deaths of despair in the U.S. is affecting a certain portion of the population, namely white middle-aged Americans lacking in formal education. Over the past decade, whites comprised 90% of new heroin users and 85% of all suicides, while making up 61% of the population. While blacks and Hispanics have much higher rates of poverty, they are not resorting to personal harm in the same numbers. Whites in America die of suicide at a rate of 14.7 per 100,000 people, compared with 5.4 for blacks and 5.8 for Hispanics. These statistics, along with the 2016 election, made me wonder what story about America was not being told. As a researcher at MIT looking into trends in automation and job loss, I wanted to understand if automation could account for some of these deaths of despair and what that portends for the future. America was founded upon a Protestant work ethic and a culture of industriousness and individualism. If jobs are leaving America's heartland, what does that mean for people's sense of identity, meaning, and purpose in life? Could societal changes due to advancements in technology be part of the cause for despair, and could it only get worse? Ashley Hekick, Automation and the Looming Crisis of Identity: The Problem. Princeton professors Ann Case and Angus Deaton, who discovered the trends in deaths of despair, point to automation, globalization, and deunionization as the socio-economic root causes of the hopelessness. They conclude, ultimately, we see our story as about the collapse of the white working class after its heyday in the early 1970s, and the pathologies that accompany this decline. Artificial intelligence. Researchers estimate a 50% chance of AI outperforming humans in all tasks in 45 years. And that all human jobs will be automated in 120 years, meaning more of us are potentially at risk. Are the trends we see in deaths of despair in the U.S. just the beginning of something much larger in nature?
And let me just say, these statistics I would question, right?
The problem: there is a large population of homeless people in the United States, but especially in California. Look at the next two photos of San Diego. The homeless population is unable to live freely. Cities have become sick, ill, and diseased. The problem: over 1/3 of women, 36.7%.
I think it started again. Artificial. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we were almost there. All the trends we see in this. Okay. So I think we're good. I think we can go on to the next one.
The problem, people who advocate for UBI, Universal Basic Income, have idealized visions of what humans would do with their free time. But time use surveys show jobless men spend most of their time playing video games, watching TV, or being on the internet, not pursuing life passions. While 70% of people feel disengaged at work, most people are happier complaining about work than not working at all, a phenomenon which psychologists label the paradox of work. If a UBI is to be implemented, it would need to be paired with societal programs that focus on people's psychology, not just their finances. All humans want to create, want to be useful, and want to reach their potential. We just need help getting there. While money is a good first step, it should be paired with programs that help people understand their purpose, unique gifts, and how they can contribute to their community. Moreover, there should be gathering spaces and groups for people to find connection, encouragement, and assistance so they can feel inspired and supported as they create their future. Ideally, a UBI would free humans to focus on what excites us the most and to be more entrepreneurial. Fear of money holds us back from taking risks and allowing creative energy to flow through. A lack of financial security can also lead us to harm ourselves or others, committing crimes just to survive. In a world of such drastic inequality as ours, where the 1% owns most of the wealth, it seems entirely possible to redistribute resources in ways that will increase overall well-being and, in turn, stimulate humanity's creative potential like never before seen. Hekik, Ashley. Automation and the Looming Crisis of Identity.
So that's
How deaths of
book on
despair in the
Amazon.
U.S. could portend a harrowing future, and how we can avoid it.
Okay, so here's the next one from Medium article.
The problem, leading wildlife charity Butterfly Conservation has revealed very low numbers of butterflies have been spotted so far in their annual big butterfly count. On average, participants are seeing just over half the number of butterflies they were spotting this time last year. However, the charity is also warning that it is not only this year's weather that is contributing to the lack of butterflies being seen. 80% of butterflies in the UK have declined since the 1970s. With habitat loss, climate change and pesticide use the main drivers of this decline. Dr. Dan Hoare continues, the lack of butterflies this year is a warning sign to us all. Nature is sounding the alarm and we must listen. Butterflies are a key indicator species. When they are in trouble, we know the wider environment is in trouble too. Butterfly conservation the problem. Oceans have thus far absorbed the brunt of global warming, trapping 93% of excess heat in the biosphere. Ocean warming, along with overfishing, has already caused fish stock depletion by between 15 and 35% over the past 8 decades, even as global populations grew from 2 to 8 billion. Unfortunately, record ocean temperatures are not the only issue of concern. Ocean acidification, sometimes called the evil twin of climate warming, is another result of rising greenhouse gas emissions. Ocean acidification refers to the drop in pH levels in seawater, which were on average 8.2 in the pre-industrial era. Since then, it has declined by 0.1 units. While this appears minute because the pH scale is logarithmic, this actually represents a 30% increase in acidity. Mid-range projections for 2100 is that ocean pH could decline by 0.3 to 0.4 units. This would be devastating for ocean biodiversity. As a comparison, a drop in blood pH in humans by 0.2 to 0.3 units could cause seizures, comas, and even death. The main cause of acidification is higher oceanic levels of dissolved carbon dioxide, CO2, the main gas responsible for rising temperatures and climate change. Oceans currently absorb over 25 million tons of CO2 daily. Cumulatively, it has absorbed approximately 31% of anthropogenic CO2 since industrial times. Other contributors to acidification, particularly at estuaries and ports, include agriculture runoff, sewage contamination, eutrophication, ship discharges, and plastic leaching. The latter is particularly acute in Southeast Asia, as the region contributes about a third of global marine plastic waste. Organic acids are released when sunlight hits aged plastic, leading to localized pH decreases of up to 0.5 units. Eco-business: the problem, the Amazon rainforest is now emitting more carbon dioxide than it is able to absorb. Scientists have confirmed for the first time the emissions amount to 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide a year, according to a study. The giant forest had previously been a carbon sink, absorbing the emissions driving the climate crisis, but is now causing its acceleration, researchers said. Most of the emissions are caused by fires, many deliberately set to clear land for beef and soy production. But even without fires, hotter temperatures and droughts mean the southeastern Amazon has become a source of CO2 rather than a sink. Growing trees and plants have taken up about a quarter of all fossil fuel emissions since 1960. With the Amazon playing a major role as the largest tropical forest. Losing the Amazon's power to capture CO2 is a stark warning that slashing emissions from fossil fuels is more urgent than ever, scientists said. The Guardian.
Okay. So I'll just show you, before we keep going, I'll just show you on here. So on Medium or on my website, there's like, so here's one of the articles So my book that I was talking about is there. So you can, you can, and this is a really good one for those who want to learn about Trumpism and suicide in the South. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, so I think we got here. So now, okay, okay, so we're still on the problem, unfortunately. Okay, so the problem.
The problem in Latin America today, nearly half of all indigenous peoples have migrated to urban areas due to land degradation, territorial dispossession, climate change and conflict. According to the World Bank, while indigenous peoples have strong capacities for adaptation, climate change is accelerating on a path that is overwhelming, said Pablo Escribano, a climate migration specialist for the International Organization for Migration, a United Nations agency. We're now seeing indigenous populations engaging in temporary and permanent movements to cities. The stakes of that migration go beyond individual communities, though. Indigenous peoples represent just 6% of the global population, but the World Bank estimates they help steward 80% of the planet's remaining biodiversity. For that same reason, experts warn that indigenous populations are particularly vulnerable to the forces driving climate change. From glacial melt and sea level rise to the deforestation that releases tons of carbon into the atmosphere every year. Their livelihoods are often very dependent on climate variables, which is affecting food security, Escribano explained. Al Jazeera English the solution. Imagine look at the next slides. The first one is city. Overpopulation, rising rent prices, soaring costs of education. People are exhausted. Then look at the second photo. Pure bliss. Nature. The third is of a potential dream community. The fourth is a video of a beautiful community in nature that already exists in the sacred valley of Peru.
Okay, this one.
Can we all move out of the cities onto the California Dreamin' Strip? Why not? Why not have 3D manufacturers design sustainable eco-yurts for people living in the sustainable farm communities that are unique? You can also include something like home biogas. From a biodigester that transforms food scraps to bio-toilets that are friendlier to the planet, the various benefits to your household are clear. Home biogas helps people worldwide practice sustainable living and enables farms and businesses to.
So okay, so let's go to home biogas. Let's see if this works. If I can click on the link. We might need to go to my website. So I have people here too. Okay. Will this one have the insert from biogas? Or will this one copy versions of this because this has been so difficult to do with just like one program. Can we actually click on that link? Aha. Okay, watch video.
Introducing Home Biogas, the system that enables you to turn your organic waste into clean cooking gas and rich fertilizer in your backyard. The ultimate system for sustainable living. We are Home Biogas, and we admire people who do everything they can for the next generations. That's why we created the Home Biogas system. It allows you to cook every day on your homemade, clean gas that comes from your food waste. Now our system is efficient, compact, easy to assemble, and 100% recyclable. In fact, it's so effective that with 2 kilograms of organic waste, you can cook up to 2 hours a day. 2 hours? It's magical. And if you have leftovers, you don't. It's all resources. And there's even more. Our new home biogas system also produces natural liquid fertilizer on a daily basis, so you can grow your own food. Home biogas. Upcycle yourself.
Okay. So we were on home biogas. Okay. All right. So let's see. So we're off the problems. So now we're on to solutions or something. Okay. So yeah, let's just go here. Solutions. Imagine this all can change. We can begin to accommodate the jobless, homeless, and lost souls populations by moving them to farmlands or mountain regions, like we talked about with the CCC, Conservation Corps, and create sustainable eco-communities where people can feel useful and feel loved. So this is California. So we can have like farmlands there for the homeless. So I used to be homeless there, and they don't want like big buildings and new apartments, that they just ruin. Like they want to live on the land, like we used to, like in tribal days. So there's going to be like people who live on farms and have fun and like are hippies, and there's going to be other people who have really good ideas like home biogas. And so don't worry, right? So this is a solution for the problem of poverty and loneliness that we were talking about, okay? So, right. Casa Colibri in the Sacred Valley of Peru. Okay. All right. So this is an example of a like what California could be, what we've been dreaming about, yeah? So you could have this really cute communal space. So I'm in Peru right now. I'm in the Sacred Valley of Peru, and they have such beautiful, all of Latin America really has places like this. It's very similar. We can easily do this in California, Texas, the southern places. Okay, so yes, there's beautiful flowers here, beautiful pathways, and then there's little casitas around. So in California, some might want to have a little bit more space. So here they have like the gardens growing, like you could start a little garden or something for food and stuff. And then yeah, there's little places to sit, as you can see, so people can meditate. They can have coffee. They can drink tea, whatever cocktails at night. There's actually a beautiful place that you'll see later. That's more cocktailish. All right. So yeah, these are beautiful plants, native to Peru. As I said, these ones are really beautiful. They smell incredible. So smells are really important. And there's a little dog who guards the place. Okay. All right. So then we have another little pathway here. Hibiscus flowers. Beautiful arrangements by the gardeners. We'll need to hire gardeners for the space. All right, so here we go. Here's another little gazebo type place. It really creates like a little enchanted forest for people to be amongst nature here. It's very tranquil, very peaceful. All right, so 1 second. Okay, and you can see the beautiful scenery around us. Okay, here's like a little pool. Wow. No way. Okay, so yeah, you can have like a little spa day here. All right. Okay, so this is the area that we could create, like, you know, we could have hookah, little shisha lounge, cocktails, and they have a fire pit here. So it really is a perfect place. All right, another little area, another like housing arrangements. Again, some people might want to be not in the immediate vicinity of the kitchen and the goings-ons. Other people might want to be. Okay, so then we have our stone iron fireplace. I don't know what they call it. So this is, we could do pizzas in there. There also should be one for pottery, which would be lovely for people. Okay, so here's another cute little space. It's so cute here. Okay, and then here we are again. We could have like, you know, cocinandas. We could have a, you know, dinner space there, breakfast space. Okay, another little lounging area for people. Okay, and then let me show you what they have over here. Okay, so the kitchen is in there. Okay, kitchens are quite obvious, right? All right. And so then, okay, so then they have this over here that we can go into. So they're working on stuff over there right now. He's continuing to upgrade things, which is lovely. Okay, more beautiful gardening space, as you can see. And then they have this this greenhouse here that he is using it for Amazonian plants, and so they need more sunshine and stuff. So he's like, I was thinking this would be cool for places in Latin America around the Amazon to refurbish, restore, what would you call it? The plants there, the plants and the animals, but this would only be for Latin America, right? California, you would do something different, okay? Because it's very important that plants stay unique to the area, unless they're like, I don't know, super similar or something. I'm not sure. We'll have to investigate that. What, like bamboo? Is bamboo from here? I thought bamboo was only from Asia. So funny. I'm not sure, loves. So, but we need to make sure that China doesn't become the Amazon and the Amazon doesn't become America, right? So stuff like, you get the point. Okay. All right. So anyway, so this is a beautiful green space. Oh gosh, you have to see this at night. It's like heavenly. Like you can have little dance parties here, powwows, tribal ceremonies, things like that. Okay, this is super cool what he created here. It's like an Easter island. So it's like it's like a stone, and the pathways that, as you can see, like you walk the pathway and you do a meditation about going into your heart, and then going out into the world. So yeah, you can walk inwards towards your heart. What should I be? Who am I? And then you walk outwards. What should I do? Why am I here? Okay, so so this is the space, and I think it would be an incredible little community farmland space for anybody, really anywhere in the world. But this is like more southern hemisphere, more, what is it called, subtropical, tropical areas. Those in colder climates will probably have different flowers and things. But this is a really great example for anybody really who wants to be part of this organic farm project program, where people will be living and then people will be farming, and creating beautiful societies of enchanted forests and living on the land and all of that. So with the land, with the flowers, with the plants, with each other. Okay, so the inspiration behind this is that we all share the same souls, right? When I was homeless in California, I met souls that were billionaires, and they share the same souls of those who are homeless. It makes me cry. So we're all interconnected. So helping them is helping you. It's like a jigsaw puzzle in 12D into infinity. You can figure out the sacred geometry. So how are we treating each other? Like family? Like we're all shared souls, common ancestry. Remember, we come from Africa. We come from apes and monkeys. We come from love. That makes me cry again. Or do we treat each other like strangers? Like if you go to San Diego and it's just awful, the city's totally ruined. It's just homeless population there. It's sick, it's sad, it's disgusting. I was fortunate that some of the time I was homeless in California. I was in Encinitas, and I just lived at the beach. And there was this really helpful group of people who gave food to the homeless every day. And so I was able to survive by eating food there, and then I bathed at the beach, and then I just lived on the land. But then when I was homeless in the cities in California, it was different. One of the places that I was in, I found family. I don't know how we figured it out. We were super multidimensional, super heavenly, godly, and we had incredible, beautiful family experiences together. And then another point, I was in San Diego, and the homelessness there is disgusting. It's disturbing. It's inappropriate. It's out of control, and something needs to happen for these people. They don't want jobs. It's so funny. Like sometimes people, these little people would come to me, and be like, "Can I help you get a job or this or that?" It's like, no, that's not what the homeless people want. We want community. We want tribalism. We want sovereignty. We want, this farmland project where people can be in nature rather than dying and on the streets of San Diego. And San Diego, it's just. I mean, you'd have to go there to see how ugly America has become. And let me just put in here, it's funny that we think we're a democracy, but do the homeless people vote? Do those who are poor, hungry, tired vote? Is that why people who have sanity and want to help the poor have not been winning elections? Because not all the people of America have been voting. Just throwing that out there for you. Okay. So, alright. So what does it mean to be illegal? What does it mean to be evil? What does it mean to act like a fool? What does it mean to be sacred? What does it mean to be scared? What does it mean to be one, connected? What does it mean to be? Who are we? And what does it mean to be redeemed? So this presentation is a solution for all of these. You can categorize these for yourself and check in with your corazon, your heart, and see how each of these words make you feel. That might be a helpful exercise. Okay, so let me take another drink. Water. Actually, it's juice. So homelessness. It's all verbiage, really. It's all grammar. There are those who have homes but have forgotten their corazons, their hearts. They have forgotten the people who are hungry and homeless on the streets, right? With inequality. The 1% own basically everything, and the majority of us own 2% of the wealth. Yet we have our corazons, we have our hearts, and I learned that when I was homeless, that even though they are living on the streets, they are doing God's work. So if we can help those who are privileged comprender, understand their privilege, and remember and understand who God is, and that we're a Christian nation, but we have fallen, then perhaps those who are homeless of hearts and have forgotten their mission in life to love the neighbor, to help the neighbor, then they can help the homeless, and we can all heal our hearts as one together. So we are here. It's all happening. Sometimes NLP Neurolinguistic programming can get in the way. We can be, our minds can be switched and swayed in all different ways by politicians, by society, by who knows who. But this is really happening. There's really homeless people. There's children dying all over the world. I've posted on Facebook about it. There's children all over the world who, in the next month, if something doesn't happen, if somebody doesn't step up, I'm not sure why America and the UN are not. That's how low we've fallen. They're going to die. So this is a solution for California, but it's really a solution also for the South. So Trumpland, the Southland, is the suicidal. So I talked about that in this presentation. They lost their factory jobs. AI is going to take more jobs away from more people. Relative deprivation. If your father had a job and then I don't have a job now, you feel even more like crap, right? Low, disgusting. You don't have any promises. You don't have any hope. And so there's tons of suicide in the South, tons of poverty. And that's why Trump wins. For a lot of reasons, because we're not taking care of our country, like the founding fathers would like us to, and like FDR, the Conservation Corps, would like us to, right? So we need to figure out like a UBI, universal basic income, but we also need to have people have purpose, because you can't just give people money with this economy like it is. Otherwise, they'll just stay suicidal and on their computers all day, playing video games, whatever. So that's why this is really important for this a lot of populations, not just California, but the entire country really. This would be incredible for South Dakota, where I was. The women I talked to at the homeless shelter I was at, I'm not going to even put it in this presentation because it's so saddening, sickening, and disturbing. So this would be a solution to have these farmlands where people can go, because what happens with these, so people who are homeless, they don't have jobs, they put them in like mentally ill institutions, but actually all they need is like a home. And so they put them in there, and then they get out, and then they get back in, and then they get back out. I mean, it could be like jail too, because they just need to be fed. They need a home and to be fed. So this is a solution. It's a farmland solution where people can work and be in community and have purpose and have universal basic income so they can feel safe. And we have tons of money. The wealthy have already said they're willing to give away their wealth. We just need to figure out a good plan. So this is the plan. I'm also going to talk about the Compassion Network, where we give money to young, bright souls who have ideas to save the environment, to help people. So it's not just the sustainable farm community, it's also the Compassion Network that will be part of the plan. Okay, so let's work with what our minds view as problems and get excited for what our hearts can see as opportunities. So the proposal is to combine environmental enthusiasts, spiritual enthusiasts, tech enthusiasts, science enthusiasts, art enthusiasts, ecological enthusiasts, etc., for this plan to come together and design something really unique, beautiful, and cool. And then you can just bus the homeless populations into these farmland areas, and they can have super simple huts, just like a hut, like hut in Africa. I lived in Mali in Africa with no water and electricity, and I was happy because I was in my community. And so it's really, and children, you know, could just go from place to place, and you don't have to just be with your own family. You can be in a tribal community, which is more natural to our ancestral past. Okay? All right, so some considerations to take into account. Speak to the local Native American tribes who have lived on the land for perhaps around 30,000 years to gain insight on where the sacred trail should be. We need to consider ley lines, sacred sites, and animal passings. It is cruel to build a road and separate animals from the families. Just like in the world today, you know, we try to nation states, and then you have the Berbers and the Kurds and the Tuaregs, who are tribal people, and the Filistinas, who are tribal people, and nation states don't make sense to them. And just like with Ukraine and Russia, the families. So why is there a border there? Why can't people in Europe, you know, from Ukraine to Russia, travel freely and see their families? Okay, so it is also inappropriate to build too close to sacred sites, as they are meant for prayer. So there might be a sacred tree, there might be, I'm not sure what's in California or your area, but you need to speak to the local indigenous people who are able, I'm able, there's other people who are able to listen to the animals, who will tell you yes or no, and you respect that, okay? So, all right, so poem, 1 second. How can we truthfully express who we are, our beauty, and what we all really need? So we've all kind of been, you know, there was the Barbie culture where we all tried to fit into who Barbie was, which is kind of funny, but serious at the same time. And what do we really need? So people think they're loved, but they're trying to fit into society, and then you won't be loved. So you need to meditate. There's free Vipassana retreats you can go on to listen to your own heart and soul, and learn about who you really are. You can go out in nature, listen to who you really are. You can, I have an idea that go to somebody who is totally antithetical to you, totally different than you, who you would feel comfortable being totally different around, right? Like just walk on the street, find like a homeless person or whoever your heart tells you to go to, your angel guides, and act differently. Maybe try it 3 times with 3 different people who, not people who are in your little community who will tell you you're ugly if you wear brown pants, you know, like, like go to people who are totally differential and be differential with them and see how that feels in your heart. Do you really know who you are? So softness and gentleness of nature versus the hardness of buildings, metaphors and consciousness that are real, all as a reflection. What are we inhaling? What are we seeing? So cities, cities don't produce oxygen. Think again, go to Europe, all the diseases from industrialism, cityism. I mean, I went to the slums in India. It's just, You need nature, okay? We need plants and animals to literally smell our manure. So we need to be more cognizant of the ratio between carbon and oxygen on Earth. Okay? I've written about that in different articles as well. And also there's a video out there on Gaia.com that talks about your whole entire brain chemistry changes when you just see structural buildings, linearity, versus when you're in nature, which is infinity. Your brain waves, your imagery, it could be related to eyesight, blindness. I'm not sure if you're just looking at a computer, if you're just looking at buildings, versus if you're in nature, your eyesight will change too. So these are all really important health considerations, okay? Colors, high frequencies, or grey buildings, or flowers, nature galore, the feminine laughing and singing, flowering for us all, out of the box, out of the matrix, creativity, expression. We're all unique, beautiful, loving. So again, this masculine, linear, city, structural, in a box, you don't feel loved probably. And if you're a homeless person, you just shit on the street, and that's okay. Versus, what if a homeless person was out in nature? What if you were in nature? What if you were with a tribe that loved you for who you are, for wearing a different colored clothes? Wouldn't that be freeing, and liberty and justice for all, right? So fake beauty versus real beauty. So fake beauty, you go to Fox News and they're like prostitutes on there. It's like male misogyny, right? Versus real beauty. Who are you? Who is your soul? What do you want to dress like Barbie, or do you want to dress ethnically? In America, you're not white, you're ethnic. All of us I have a Native American soul in me because my ancestor was raped. A lot of you probably have Native American souls in you because your ancestors were raped. There was genocide. So, and a lot of us come from Czechoslovakia. That's like Asian blood that comes through as well. And then we have Mexicans coming in who are incredibly intelligent Mayans. Have you studied the Mayan culture? Do you know who these people really are? Do you think they're just slaves for you and your farms? No, actually they're incredibly higher dimensional beings. So, America, have we manufactured ourselves? And have we out-manufactured ourselves too? Because of technology. All these jobs lost, then we get Trump. Suicide in the South. Have we turned ourselves into slaves of this economy that's not working for really anybody? I mean, women now, they work and they have to take care of the children and they have to cook and they have to clean. What does that do to your family, to your sex drive? A man comes home from work, he probably would like to have a little fun, a little promiscuity. But wow, the woman went to work too, and now she has to cook and clean and take care of the kids. This is unacceptable. This is not where we come from. This is not our ancestry. So this is a totally new society that we're speaking of. that will be part of the farm trail, allowing people who want to relax, meditate, take a break, do that. And then boom, maybe they'll get inspired and create in a company. I'm not sure. Or maybe they'll just sit and meditate and pray for peace in the world all day. I'm not sure. It's all okay. So how can we free ourselves? What will motivate us? Self and whole, two worlds or one world. Are you so focused on yourself? Or do you have a purpose? The earth is dying. You could care about your shoes that don't fit into society, your classroom, your boardroom, your whatever. Or you could think about, wow, the earth is dying, there's all these homeless people, there's all these people committing suicide. Something's wrong. So maybe I should switch my focus from, wow, gosh, I'm so ugly, to, wow, there's something greater happening in this universe. And I guess I'm not that ugly. I guess I'm okay if I wear what I wear and I am who I am. And maybe I could reach out to that soul who's on the street, who asks for a little penny. And maybe I give them $100. You know? Maybe you start tipping the coffee baristas a little more. Maybe you start tipping the women who clean the shit out of your hotel room, you know? Like, it's a different consciousness of caring about other people rather than just your own little problems, your own little self that maybe aren't even real. So that's why Vipassana retreats are helpful, to do that healing work, to get into your heart. Okay, so how do we grow up? How do we mature as a species? Right now, America is not doing that great, right? What does it mean to be a mother? What does it mean to be a father? What does the sacred masculine mean to you? Honor, valor. What does the sacred feminine mean to you? Love. So these farmlands can help us. It'll be like the hippies. We can take cannabis, use sacred plant medicines. They're not drugs. They are plant medicines. They are sacred. Cannabis comes from Asia. So Asia, why would it come from Asia? Isn't that interesting? Soft and gentle. Cannabis is very soft and gentle. It's healing medicine. So you take it and then lie in your bed and do spiritual work. And when you get tired, then you use grandfather tobacco. You can use Native American spirits that are organic. I would not use the chemical tobacco industry products that have chemicals in them and might be causing you lung cancer. I would use the organic Native American spirits. If you want grandfather tobacco, to take a break. It connects you to the spirit world. Okay? Connects you to the kingdom. You can also vape. Vaping is another option for women who don't want to smell like cigarettes. Or people who are on business meetings and things like that. Vaping, you don't then smell, but it gives you a little break. It gives you a little release, and it connects you. Like women who are at bars and you feel like you've drank a little bit too much alcohol, maybe take a smoke break, take a vape break, and connect back with your soul, because spirit, so alcohol is actually the problem. It's not cannabis. It's a misconception. Again, NLP deprogramming here. So alcohol can cause you can go blank, right? It can cause demons, devils, all sorts of awful entities to come into you, and so you could end up raped, etc. So grandfather tobacco can help reconnect you with your higher self, and maybe you'll gain a little bit more consciousness and say, maybe it's time to go home now by myself, or find a guide, a friend to take you home, okay? Alright, so a poem. Birds and the bees. Maturation, ceremonies. Coming into our divine essence, remembering who we are. So there's a priest out there who's written a book about, so there's Bowling Alone that talked about loneliness in America increasing. And then there's the priest, gosh by golly, what is his name? Who talked about how we're missing sacred ceremonies of puberty and things like that. So these sacred tribal farmlands will be able to mature more. We'll be able to connect with our hearts, with plant medicines, with each other in a totally different way. Purpose, heart, love, nature, creation. And this stream is for this stream is for all people all over the world. Not just California, right? So there's the flower of life. So that might be helpful for scientists. Sacred geometry. I'm not sure why scientists are not studying the flower of life. That's really important. The tetragrammaton, there's all sorts of things, and connect it with color, connect it with sound, frequency. It's bizarre to me that sacred geometry is not taught at MIT. Okay. So this presentation is by me, Ashley Michelle Heacock. Please connect with me for collaboration. My email is ashleyheacock@gmail.com. There's my WhatsApp, and my website is awakeningconsciousness.community. Okay, so there you are, loves. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about the Compassion Network for People and Planet. So some of this we've already gone over, right? So these are like documentaries, but we'll be talking about the problem, solution, stipulations for funding, benefits, assistance for receivers, potential projects, metrics, incentives, evaluations, 2 programs about me and contact. Okay, so again, some we've already gone over, but some will be new. All right. So the problem is that the wealthy would like to invest in projects that are good for people and the planet. So that would be karma positive. There are many educated youth, adults and elderly around the entire world who could benefit from receiving funding to do local projects that could help people and planet. The planet is being destroyed by chemicals and helping decisions and cow manure. People are lonely and isolated, and suicide is rising. and feel like there are not a lot of good opportunities for them, especially with automation. So people are unhealthy and do not understand proper nutrition, and anemia is commonplace. People are reliant on cash crops when we could diversify into sustainable, holistic agriculture that is built around community and could be a spiritual tribal solution to the depression we see in the modern world of box living. Okay? So we've talked about depression, all of these problems in the world, right? Okay, so here's the solution. So we've talked about the organic farm solution, like Caminando de Santiago, where people live freely in harmony, like the dream of the hippies, and find breaks and rest. And a lot of people don't want to work, and with artificial intelligence and automation, we won't be anyway. So this is kind of like, hey, this is the solution. So in addition to what I talked about the farmlands, we can also start a fund where the wealthy give to and disperse it to those individuals around the world who would like to do good for people and planet. There are many educated people now everywhere in the world who could help save their communities, their little communities, from harm to the environment, and who could begin programs that build a stronger sense of community. What if we could start a chain reaction of positive, healthy, beautiful actions that reverberate around the world? So instead of relying on government actions, why not inspire people to be entrepreneurial and give them funding to save our planet and help our people prosper? So this will help people's masculinity, femininity, the core zones, the entrepreneurial spirit. It will enliven our world with all these beautiful souls who have projects in mind but don't have money for it. So if we can give to them, so I'll tell you a little bit more about the funding later. Stipulations for funding: no harm of the environment or people, no chemicals, no hormones or antibiotics in animals, nothing that is against people and the planet. Think of your children's children. Think of oxygen, clean air, water, nutritious organic food, and how the next generations will survive, right? So the benefits of this program can be clean water, clean air, clean communities, more flowers, bees, trees, plants, beauty. People could get funding just for planting gardens all over their community. That would really help with the oxygen-carbon ratio. Less loneliness, more kindness and compassion, more cooperation amongst each other, healthier nutritional assistance and organic sustainable farming, more entrepreneurial spirit, more innovation, more support, more peace, more love. We are one world now. There's no denying that. We're in a new age. So all of us sharing ideas. I have an idea of putting this on like a Slack channel where we all learn from each other the best practices. So yes, I'll tell you about more support later. Okay, so assistance for receivers. I guess now. A Slack community board of projects listed by category where people can learn from each other, support each other, share ideas, collaborate, etc. Entrepreneurial assistance. Presentations to give community entrepreneurs lessons in how to get started, build, innovate, be creative, etc. This can be part of the Slack community. stories from people who receive funding about their successes and failures, so we can learn together and support one another. This is not an I will be perfect if I receive this funding. It's wow, this will be an experiment first, and you'll learn, and you might change paths, you might change courses, and that's okay. You're learning. There's something called like a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So fixed mindset, it's like, wow, I failed and I'm done forever. Versus a growth mindset, which is like, you know what, I learned from that. And I'm going to grow from that experience, and I'm going to move on to something differential that's more positive, because now I'm wiser. Okay? So let's start dreaming together about a beautiful new world, a sustainable social eco-economy for all. Wouldn't that be beautiful if we could all switch our mindsets from me to we, to the animals, to the trees. You know, again, cities have kind of been suffocated and have forgotten where we come from. We come from the land. Comida, food, comes from plants and animals working together alongside each other. Okay? That's the reality. Unfortunately or fortunately. Okay. So potential projects. You could start an organic farm. You could start a store that sells non-chemical, organic, natural products that are safe for the water and air. You could provide nutritional assistance for populations with anemia. You could be healthy and build healthy and safe compostable toilets for non-industrialized communities. Again, I lived in Africa. I'm really curious about building, like, I would love somebody super scientific to help with building like really clean, really easy, compostable units. Okay, starting a creative local cultural school for children. Artistry for a cause could be a project. Feeding the homeless, helping the mentally handicapped. Renewable energy. If you have an idea for that, you could go to Hawaii and just like be on your computer studying sacred geometry all day and learning about electromagnetic fields and stuff. Okay. I'm building a trash cleanup program in your community, starting a beekeeping or worm farm, assisting the elderly, preserving a local language, starting an innovative sustainable venture, technology for a cause, research for a cause, or maybe you are one who wants this funding for meditation, spirituality, and prayer. Maybe you've been through a lot, right? The darkness. And you need time to process your heart, to corazon. Maybe you just feel called by God to just sit for a while and rethink your entire strategy of life and business and relationships. And that's okay too. That's included in the funding. So metrics, incentives, and evaluations. Each receiver of assistance will share their story to not only get feedback, but also to get help from others and learn from them. Social accountability. So additionally, we will all need a techno-scientific team to help evaluate the benefits to people and planet. That would be really helpful to measure your benefits or share your story of the benefits. But we would need you to communicate with us. And even if it's like, holy crap, I failed, or my mother died, or, you know, alhamdulillah, like, wow, you never know what could happen in life. So just explaining, wow, you gave me this money this month, and this is what happened. And actually, I got diagnosed with, endometriosis, and I, used that money to take care of myself. And that's a story, and that's your story, and that's proof that you're working. And so we would then check on you to make sure you get better, and that your family's okay, and that you still want to continue with your project or not. So this is like, again, it's a sharing platform. So you sharing your story with others will help them be like, wow, that was me too. And how do we solutionize then together? Maybe you create bonds with people. You find people online from different parts of the world who are working on the same project, and you connect with them like a pen pal relationship, So this is for people who are really serious and really want to do beautiful, good work in the world. Okay, that made me cry. Okay. All right. So next slide. So 2 programs I'm thinking of. This is just an idea. So program 1, $2,500 to $5,000 stipend per month for individuals with purposeful projects for people and planet. So it would depend on your project. It would depend on where you live. A lot of different variables. Program 2, $9,999 to $19,999 for individuals who would like to start a sustainable organic farm community. Again, I'm not sure if these numbers are accurate. If you say, actually, I only need 1,000, but actually I would need like 49, like, why? Then explain your story why. We'll chat. Okay, so about me. So I've explained this in my in the documentary. So these are my credentials. You might have also heard them in the documentary already. So I studied international affairs at George Washington University in economics. I also studied the Middle East and Arabic, and then became a conflict resolution expert. I lived all over there, and then eventually I joined the Peace Corps, and I lived in Africa, in Mali, West Africa, with no water or electricity. And then I realized new eco-technologies would probably be the solution for Africa and actually a lot of the world. And so I went to MIT and Harvard for management, international affairs, political economy, evolution. I studied all sorts of different topics while I was there. And so you can see my resume at my website. So this is my website, awakeningconsciousness.community, Heal, Awaken, Inspire. And then you can go to Healing the World or Healing Yourself. So So I have a lot of different articles here. Let's see, I have Healing Yourself. A lot of different articles here. And then I have Poetry of the Heart. You could also listen to. And this one is my favorite one, Where We Come From. We might want to listen to that. Okay, so I'm going to share one of my poems. It's called Where We Come From. This beautiful design is by Tessamithos Art on Instagram. Okay, so this is where you come from, my child. You were birthed out of pure nothingness, ultimate unconditional love. Like the dark earthen core, you were pressurized to become somebody, like a seed sprouting from the soil. Like a seed sprouting from the soil. You overcome challenges to blossom towards the light. Look up at the sky. Remember you are heavenly. Then notice the darkened night. Remember you are always held in the womb of the mother. You are safe, you are loved. Be true to yourself, love yourself like you are the most precious flower of God. Drink the water of neutrality and remember the spirit that breathed life into you. See the mountain of courage and find that in yourself. Everything's metaphorical, you see? Plant a flower of beauty and know that geometry in you too. Hear the hummingbird song and remind yourself of your soft angel wings. You might have been a hummingbird in the past, you never know. Notice the lion and remember your untamed soul. Life is metaphorical. Who am I? Where do I come from? So God births you and shows you. You are like the mountain, dear soul. You are like the flower, you are like the hummingbird, you are like the lion. You are the breath, you are the universe. You are the sun connected to the Father in the light of the kingdom surrounding us. We are one big family story, like the waves of an ocean. You are more like a web of intimate interaction than one separate self. Your relationships will mold you, so follow your heart. Create yourself every moment with each loving intention set forth. Birth beautiful dreams, dear child. Fill this world with the most glorious visions of your soul. The most glorious visions of your soul. Imagination is creation, so all you have to do is dream.